Liberal Dan Radio presents
Fat Man Rant!
A while back, Louisiana had a governor. His name was Bobby Jindal. He was of Indian descent. Now, he wanted to be called Bobby, even though that was not his legally given name. And I had no problem calling him Bobby Jindal because that's what he wanted to be called. It's a matter of respect. It's a matter of common decency. So I didn't agree with him politically at all on almost every issue. You know, he was a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and he had a lot of extreme issues that I didn't like. But just because I didn't agree with him on the issues didn't mean that I had to be rude to him and call him by a name that he didn't want to be referred to as. But there were people who would use his given name, and when doing so, they would do it in a way that was very snide and rude sounding, as if to say, ew, he's not one of us, or something like that. It was very bigoted in the way that they would present his name. And it was wrong. It was wrong for them to do that. I might have agreed with those people politically, but I did not agree with the tactics that those people were using to attack him via his name. It was wrong to do so. Senator Ted Cruz. Ted's not his given name. It's not even Theodore. But he wants to be known by Ted. He doesn't want to be known by his given name. He doesn't want to go by his given name. Now, he might have to use his given name on his legal documents, but we call him Ted. Again, I don't agree with Ted Cruz on damn near anything. I think he's a sniveling little coward for how he caved in to Donald Trump with how Donald Trump attacked him and his family. But I'm still going to call him the name that he wants to be called by because it's a matter of common decency and respect. So I will call him Senator Ted Cruz or just Senator Cruz. I'm not going to call him by a name that he doesn't want to be called by. Again, common decency and respect. Rebecca Pratt is a former local DJ here in New Orleans, a radio host, had a conservative talk show. The individual who named me Liberal Dan. At the time, I had no idea that she was a trans woman. I knew her by a different name. Only after her passing did I find out that she was a trans woman and she went by the name Rebecca Pratt. Now, I often disagreed with her as well, but even though I only knew her prior to death with her other name, I'm only going to refer to her from this point on as Rebecca Pratt because it's a matter of common decency and respect to call her by the name that she wanted to be called by and to use the pronouns that she would want used for her. Caitlyn Jenner is famously known for another name when she competed in the Olympics as an athlete. But she transitioned, and she's now known as Caitlyn Jenner. And I won't use her dead name, and I'll refer to her as a she and her, because that's the pronouns that she wants to use. She's a Republican. I don't agree with her on a lot of things politically. But guess what? I'm not going to stoop down and be horrible to her because I disagree with her politically. I'll criticize her political decisions and I'll call her a hypocrite when she's a hypocrite. However, I'm not going to misgender her. I'm not going to call her by her dead name. I'm going to call her by the name that she wants to be called and use the pronouns that she wants to be called. Dylan Mulvaney is somebody who has made the news recently with their Bud Light thing and now Maybelline ads, and the conservatives are all in a tizzy. And all of them are misgendering her. They're calling her by the wrong pronouns, and I don't believe she's changing her name, and that's fine. That is her right to do so. But they are often using her wrong pronouns. Boebert has done it. A lot of other famous people have done it, and it's wrong. And it just shows the level of disrespect and how disrespect and a lack of common decency that's rampant amongst modern day conservatism. They are childish. They lacked any sort of decorum, any sort of decency, any sort of respect. You don't have to agree with somebody's politics. You don't have to agree with them on how they feel about the issues. I'm not asking you to do that. Not one bit. We can sit here and have a discussion about anything political that you want, but at least have the common decency to refer to somebody in the way that they wish to be called. I mean, hasn't anybody watched Coming to America? Go watch Coming to America. The scene in the barbershop where they're debating Muhammad Ali. The old Jewish man, played by Eddie Murphy. If a man wants to be called Muhammad Ali, then God damn it, he should be called Muhammad Ali. Who would have known years ago that a Jewish character played by a black man would have had such sage wisdom for the year 2023? If somebody wants to be called by a particular name, be it Bobby Jindal, be it Ted Cruz, be it Muhammad Ali, Rebecca Pratt, Caitlyn Jenner, or what have you, call them by that name. And if somebody wants to be called by certain pronouns, be they he, him, they, them, she, her, or what have you, just use common decency and call them by their names or by their pronouns that they want to use. Because if you can't do those simple things, you don't honestly deserve to be listened to at all, because you lack the common decency and decorum and respect for me to respect you and your political opinions whatsoever.